Okay, so the second game of the evening is Reus 2. Now, this is a sequel to a city builder called Reus, and I actually missed out on that. That wasn't a game I got to play, but I saw a lot of other YouTubers and streamers playing it. So when the guys at JF Games reached out to me to cover the second game, I was all in because I love city building games. I love city builders, Frostpunk, Terraformers. You've got, Dune, all of the Dune games. There's so many good Dune games. And that's kind of what got me into city building. It was mainly Frostpunk, which was the first city builder I ever played. And that kind of got me hooked because it was post-apocalypse and city builder. So yeah, when this came out, I liked the idea. It kind of gave me the vibes of a very old game I played when I was a little kid called Black and White, which was a city builder where you had different gods. And Reus 2 is much the same. So you play the role of a pantheon of gods, shaping the future of a planet. And based on your decisions and which factions you support or not support, you can have a number of different outcomes. And outcomes come in the form of different factions gaining power, which factions like and hate each other, wars, famine. You can have ecological disasters. You can have the gods squabbling amongst themselves. So there's a lot of complexity in the game. Now there is one thing I have to say, in order to be honest, the game is a little bit confusing. Some of the mechanics. I have played the tutorial as well as quite a few hours of this game, just trying to understand how everything works. There are a lot of metrics in the game, and some of them aren't really well explained, which is the only negative I have with the game. I think that maybe the tutorial could have been a little bit more comprehensive because there's a lot of different mechanics, a lot of resources, a lot of dependent different things that you have to learn, which aren't really well explained. So you will be doing a lot of flailing and a bit of failing, but I think the thing that the game does really well is that even if you do make a mistake on a planet, it doesn't really matter because you have a number of different runs on the different planets, and even if you have a run that isn't exactly fantastic, you'll still be able to unlock different planets and also different metrics with each run. So it is a roguelike game, a roguelike city builder. Every time you complete your work on a planet, you will unlock additional factions, additional animals, plants, technologies, buildings, and then you use those in your next run to advance your civilizations further. So it's a really fun way to approach a city building game, but there is a fair bit of complexity in there, and it might scare off some players that are used to something a little bit more simple. I know that I found it to be a little bit confusing at the start, but what I'm going to do is we are going to I have completed there at the moment. There are 4 planets in this system, so if we have a look, let's go back. This is one of the newer planets in the game, but I really wanted to try this one here because this is a planet which is a bit bigger than the other one. So these planets here I've completed, and this one I actually just completed today. Well, I was just bumming around trying to understand some of the mechanics, and I didn't do too well. A lot of my factions ended up at war. I wasn't able to reach all of the required milestones to get the best possible score. So I figured what I'll do is we're going to use the same sort of setup with the planet seed and give it another go. So let's jump in. Let me just check that's... Ooh, the sound is quite loud. Just give me 1 minute. See if we can fix that. Yeah, I turned this down earlier, but it's kind of, the sound in this game's a little bit on the loud side. Let's see if that close enough. Okay, So when you start each planet, you have your first settlement, your first group of people. In this case, I have a group of people who are the sage. So that's basically their prophet or their leader. And you have different types of factions. So you can, in the case of a sage, they're all about knowledge growth, all about learning new technologies. You can have inventors that are all about building and construction and expansion. You can have settlements that are focused on food. So like farmers, agriculturalists, and you can have ones that are just straight like, you know, we're gonna make this money. So they're all about mining and gathering wealth. And depending on which of the types of factions you've got, that's going to shape how you play the game. So in this case, we're all about population growth and knowledge growth. So let's we can't settle here. We're going to make a biome. So first thing we're going to do is make a forest biome, because a forest biome is really good for food. That should do. And don't worry, there's three distinct biomes you can get, and there are more that you can unlock. So you do that via the draft menu here. So you've got forest, ocean, and desert as a start. Then you've got rainforest, which are kind of a mix of ocean and desert, and taiga, which is a mix of forest and it's kind of like all three, I guess. No, it's like a snowy forest. And depending on what type of biome you've got, that determines the types of minerals, animals, and plants you can grow. So we're all about getting that population growth. So we're going to settle in the middle of the forest. Boom. So these guys are cutting down trees. They're going to get paid one way or another. Actually, we're gonna focus on things like libraries, research centers, anything to increase our knowledge. And there are other factions. So we're not just going to be one faction. We're going to have you can have up to 3, with depending on the size of the planet too. Bigger planets have more support for more people. So let's actually expand our domain with a desert to the right. I don't want forest, I want you, my friend. Build us a desert. The spice must flow. No, we can't have giant Shire-Lud. But deserts are very good in natural resources, so things like minerals, stone, iron, all that good stuff. Whereas forests are all good for food, wood, all that stuff. Forests generally the ideal starting location because they've got a lot of natural resources to get your people up and running. Deserts are pretty good though. Oceans you can't settle in, so you can't have a city in an ocean. I was hoping like a water world style floating atoll city. Unfortunately, you can't do that. Missed opportunity. Much disappointment. Now, let's we need a bigger population. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get some food. Now, this is where the adjacency factor works in. So if we place down a particular type of plant, it gets adjacency bonuses from being next to other types of plants. So in this case, we're going to place this next to a mineral in the desert, and that will give us a adjacency bonus. There we go. Yeah. Now you can see here we as our people get more let me just get rid of Give me one moment. It's that time of stream again. Got to do some house cleaning. Always love it. Every stream there's always one spam message. There we go. And poor Lukey usually ends up being saddled with mass bans, trying to get rid of all the dodgy spam messages. Now I don't have any oceans nearby. We do have, I mean, farm might be good, but I think I'm going to go with herders because this herbivore biotica I think will be easy to. That all that is just basically trees and plants that animals can feed on. So that's going to be pretty easy to pull off in a forest. So herbivore biotica. So if we go here, let's drop some of these. Okay, and then we need some more food plants, and this is going to be for the purpose of our animals. So they're gonna need food, so we can. There we go. Okay, people happy, and then as you can see, because we're providing a large amount of food, food is what drives our population. So there's a lot of metrics in this game you kind of have to figure out, and it feels sometimes like a bit of a hit and miss, trial and error. And I think this game could really use a more detailed tutorial at the start of the game. Because even I, after playing at least 5 or 6 planets so far, I still get stuck with some of the buildings and the paths. The other thing too is because there is so many different requests and so many requirements for resources and such. I mean, if you have a look at this looks like a big planet, but if once you have 2 or 3 cities, you find that you run out of room very quick. So I'm going to put a ocean here just so we've got some water between our main village. So I think we'll put some water here, and then I will next set up my second city. So we'll just put a little ocean here. And again, the ocean biome is largely wasted space because you can't really do much with the oceans, but they do provide some unique plants and animals. So always good to have at least 1 or 2 very small ocean tiles on the planet just to break things up. I am going to create another desert here. We'll have a desert faction. You know, we'll have some Fremen up in here. Because as you can see, I've got one other faction I can start. And you have to remember too that different factions have different preferences. So a pacifist faction is very unlikely to get on well with a warlike faction. Factions that tend to rely on industrialization are not going to be big fans of factions that have a bit more of a focus on environmentalism. So it's really important to be very careful about what factions you want to work together. I know that diplomats work really well with my faction, so we are going to get the diplomats going in here. So sages and diplomats kind of have a pretty good relationship, and once that faction gets there, they're on their way now. Now, one other thing you want to be careful too is the god's favor. So if you expend too many resources on one faction and neglect or maybe not have as much import with another one, you will find that, there we go, we've got a new city. You'll find the factions will start to wage war. So factions will get jealous, they'll be like, why are the gods helping faction A instead of us? And then they'll attack faction A. And of course, sometimes if a faction grows too quickly, too rapidly, they may decide that they just want to take over the whole planet for themselves. So, you know, you gotta, and then you have to determine, do you want to help that faction, or do you want to hinder that faction? Do you want to let the people just fight it out, or sometimes add a little bit of divine intervention in the form of a hurricane or a tsunami, something that's going to shake people up. Let's add some minerals. So this faction without access to forest are probably going to be very heavily focused on mining and mineral gathering. This is a mineral booster, so we really want to put something like a quartz element, because this is going to provide a huge amount of money. Each of these tiles, see this? We're actually getting a bonus amount of money. This is actually earning us a lot of wealth. These people are very happy. Prosperity, there we go. See, so this is a prosperous city now. We don't have a lot here. It's just basically a hole in the middle of nowhere. But these guys, they're making money. They're getting paid. And now they can start trade with the other villages. So now I need to work on the population here. Population growth is, of course, the best way to do that is to get some animals up in here. So we can get some rabbits and some stoats, and they will gain an adjacency bonus. And already you can see the population is exploding. The people have food. There we go. Okay, these guys need these guys probably need some food, so let's get some. These kind of look like the desert mouse. I keep referencing June, but I can't help myself. We've got Muad'Dib, the desert mouse. There we go. So that's going to increase their prosperity. Now, we have... Oh, we've got a bit of a choice here. I think that their proximity to water would be good. But there's a lot of animals in here. So trapping... I think I'm going to go stone cutting, because there's a lot of... There's a lot of minerals in this area, so I think we can definitely add some more minerals. That's going to be easy. Boom. That's what we like to see. Savage. Okay, so these guys should be very happy. They're making lots of money. We now need to get a third city up and running. So what I will do though is these guys need to grow their population a bit more. Now the challenge here is your limited space. So where there's always not a lot of space to to work with, which means I am going to have to really carefully select what tiles I use. And I find that often there's just not enough room on the planet for all of the factions. Like if you have 3 factions, they're almost invariably going to go to war. Now I can add a rainforest. Let's do it. Ooh, and we're gonna grab the gumbo plant. Let's go. Okay. So I think our third city, I mean, we don't have any option. This is the only space left. Our third city will go here, and I think we'll add another forest. Where's the water? I think the water would be well here, so we will add an ocean over here. Very small, once again. Oceans don't really give you a whole lot to work with, so this could be a fishing village. We can focus on food. You don't want to have all the villages with the same focus, because if you diversify your different villages, that encourages trade. So the Sage Village has a large amount of food and a large amount of wood and natural resources. The Neutral Village here, the Philosophers, they have a large amount of gold and minerals. So very mineral rich, the city. And our third city, I think we're going to focus all in on food. So let's get our third and final city. Boom. Now, it can be very, very overwhelming, this game, if you don't know what you're doing. I found that, for me at least, I struggled trying to understand all of the different factions and their different needs. And I found it to be a little frustrating sometimes, but... oh, we got a merchant, okay. Yes. I probably should have made this a desert biome. Actually, it's not too late. We could probably do that. Yeah, this guy needs money, so... that's okay. We'll figure it out. Let's set this up here. So now we've got food, we've got raw materials, minerals, and then we've got trade via a merchant faction. So I think it's a really nice, well-rounded group of factions, and I think their chances of war are going to be pretty low, because you've got to... that's one of the mistakes I made. I didn't have well-rounded factions, and because I had them all kind of focusing on the same thing, it then created resource shortages, and then it led to war. So if you got, you got all 3 factions all focusing on minerals, and there's only so many minerals on the map, they're invariably going to start fighting over them. In this case, we've got 3 different factions that have all got very distinct focuses that I think are complementary. So at least that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. These guys are dropping in here. Beautiful. Okay, so these guys need wealth. So I'm going to be focusing on anything that will earn money. So that is going to be animals. Stoats earn money. And Moss agate earns money. Earns money. So we're going to be filling this entire biome with anything that's going to get us paid. And we want to make sure each of these factions have their own unique sets of resources. So we've got another biome. Let's no. Okay. There you go. Look, these guys are getting paid. They are getting paid. Okay, more moss. I don't know how moss is going to make you money unless I mean they've got a medical focus on something like penicillin, but it's probably a little bit early to be worrying about that. These are very, very primitive societies, so there we go. So now I'm going to move back to the Sage Village over here. We need to increase our population. So I am thinking we need food. Okay, we can't use those. We're going to need to use a forest plant, which is going to be probably blueberry. As you can see, our main challenge is trying to keep enough room. We're very low on space right now. Okay, I'm hoping that will increase our population. Because we've kind of run out. We've got everything locked up. Now, you notice we've got these emissaries. They are from our various cities, and they will attempt to expand the borders automatically. And now this can sometimes, in this case, there's nobody using this area of land. But if these guys try to expand into another faction's territory, that's when you're going to get a war. Now, it helps when the factions are friends. They're less likely to get into a fight, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And sometimes it's inevitable. So let's get some animals. Oh, these guys... Yeah, this isn't within the borders of anything, so I may have to get some desert animals in here. These guys don't exactly provide a whole lot of food, but it is what it is. We don't need a whole lot of food, we just need to get enough to get our population up to 10. And enough to get our prosperity up. So we need combined prosperity of 15. Actually, sorry, 30. 30. Okay, I'm hoping that's going to... There we go. Perfect. Okay, so there's a bit loud. Let me just alter that sound again. Yeah, this game can be on the loud side. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so our next goal is to increase our prosperity across all of the villages to 10. So I'm guessing our newest village is the one that has low prosperity. So that's going to be Sandfort over here. Because there's just not a whole lot stuff built here yet. We've got a lot of minerals, but not a whole lot else. So probably food will be our next priority. So actually, what plants can we grow? That's not great. That is not great. So that's all right. There we go. Now the merchant village is going to need a lot of money, so wealth is going to be... That's why I set them... I mean, they're in the forest, which is not great, but... I think trading post would be good. Yeah, let's go with the trading post. Because we want these guys to be a trader. Not a traitor, we want to be a trader. Okay, so we really need to get the prosperity up. So there's a lot of different metrics, and it can be hard to figure out what is doing well. So prosperity is kind of an overall read of your city, how much food you've got, how much money, how much different types of buildings, animals, and it just adds up to a total score. So basically, if you've got a nice, well-rounded city, people are happy, you've got food, you've got minerals, you've got trade, generally that city is going to have a high prosperity. So we've actually hit the next era. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh. That actually looks like a pretty good one to pick. 2 cities with a population. We can do that. Very nice. So now we need 3 cities with 3 population. So we also need unique plants, which is not a big deal. We can do that. I am going to pick... We can pick some unique plants in the ocean. So sea anemone. This is why it's always good to have all of the different biomes. So, and we will unlock additional types of plants. This is only what we've got now. I've unlocked quite a few. So you start off with none of this. I actually got these ones from previous planets I've completed. So this is going to be a good one for food. Kelp. People can eat kelp. Okay, and now we've got unique plants on the planets. People are happy. I think that's about all the different plants we can have. I've used them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one. I have not got a tree. Just a regular old tree, and that's going to get us our 5 different plants. People are going to be happy. There we go. So now we just need to grow our population and we're all set. Okay, the merchant village, that's going to be the next one to tackle. These guys just need wealth. And I'm thinking we need mines. We need mines. Now I wonder if I have a curiosity. I'm going to make this into desert, and we're going to expand this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into ocean, and then this into desert. And that's going to allow me to add some mines to my merchant village, because we need more minerals to get their wealth up. We need a wealth of 10. That's going to be pretty hard to pull off. And the thing about forests is they're really good for food, but they're not really that great for wealth. The desert's the best place to get some moolah. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this into a desert. There we go. So now what I can do is I can now go, I wish to have this. So this is quartz is super lucrative. And if we place down a plant bioticum. Okay, I have a different idea. I'm going to replace that with this. And the reason why is this gets a bonus from being next to a plant bioticum, which is going to be... There we go. So now we're getting money and research points from that. So now I can make the rest of these quartz. And look at that wealth. Look at the wealth going up. These guys getting paid. Boom. We're going to be rolling in gish. Okay, these guys are... Now the city is spreading their borders. They're going to take this, this here. And now... There we go. Very happy people. Oh, we need 25 wealth. It's going to be rough. I don't know how I'm going to pull that off, to be honest. That is a lot of money. This is the best we can do. Just make a ton of minerals. And look for anything that's going to generate cash. So this is generating money. Now, of course, I have to wait for the city borders to expand. So anything that's in the city borders, they're not going to benefit from. Gold booster. We need something in there that's going to boost gold. So what is going to boost gold? You know, I could make this desert as well, because that's in a really good spot for a mine. So I've got minerals. I want to put quartz there. Okay, I have an idea. This isn't going to make me very popular, because it's probably going to bust up this the planet a bit, but there we go. Now what I can do is add quartz on that. And we're going to get a huge boost to our prosperity. Look at all that cash. Look at it all. Now we're going to need a lot more, obviously. I'm kind of a bit worried that we're getting to the point where there may be some inevitable conflict here. I'm going to place a plant bioticum here. And then we're going to... There's food there, so I think our best... Yeah, food booster. So I think what a really good spot would be for an animal would be right there. So animals... Oh yeah, rabbits. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, so we still need to get our population up in Sage Town and our wealth up in Merchant Town. And Merchant Town, I think we've got a lot better of a chance to sort that out. Cause... Okay, we can't add that. Oh, yeah, we've got to add some stoats next to those. If we add some animals in here, we're gonna make mad money. I have an idea. We place the stoats here. Then we place rabbits here. There we go. Oh, how did that go down? How did my wealth go down? Okay, well, apparently that was not the right move to make. Guess quartz it is. We're just gonna, like the Merchant Town, we're not gonna worry about food. We're just gonna bust out as much minerals as we can. Yeah, this is a very challenging game. Like there's a lot of, and completing just one planet can take you upwards of 2 or 3 hours. So I've done about 4 or 5 planets so far. I've spent a good 10, 15 hours playing this game, and I still don't fully understand some of the mechanics in this game. There's just so much to learn. Okay, so I can't put quartz there. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted just to like dice this forest entirely and just make it all minerals. There we go. That you can see his wealth is already going up quite substantially. We only need another 2 or 3 wealth. Okay, I am tempted just to make this all desert, to be honest. Because I'm really struggling to get enough money. I mean, literally everything is set up to make money here. Okay, let's just put some stoat here. I need 4 wealth and then the merchant town sorted, so we'll leave it in hope. Let's head over to the Sage Town. These guys need higher population, so we need more food here. We need food, and we got so much food in here, but not enough apparently. Not enough. We've got 1 slot here, so I can add some cats. Actually, I needed population, not... Oh, these guys are fighting each other. That's probably not great. Yeah. Let's cancel that. And add an animal that's not going to murder everything in sight. I'm actually tempted to just make more forest here. Because we're struggling to get enough food for a population and everything here is mossy stone. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. We'll add another blueberry. This is the thing too. Different cities have different focuses. Some cities are all about food. I've completed the era. Look at that. We've actually completed the era. But I'll try and hit these two. But now, oh, there we go. Population's going up. That's what we needed. Slowly but surely. We still need more food. Not enough. Okay, so what I'll do is... we're going to extend the forest this way. And then we're going to get more animals. Rabbits. Here. And then we're going to add food here. And then we need a mineral. We can boost this further if we have it next to a mineral bioticum, which is easy to do because I've left some desert here. Look at that. That ought to boost us up to 20 population, I hope. That is the goal. There we go. Look at that. Getting paid. Beautiful. Okay. Still not enough. We need more food. More food. Bring on the food. Okay. Okay. There we go. We've got 2 population left. That has got to be enough. We got food everywhere. This whole place is covered in berries and animals. Still not enough. Bloody hell. Okay, we'll put one there. Let's get some more animals, I reckon. More rabbits. This is crazy. Should have... This whole place is just bursting with food. How can our population not be at 20 yet? There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got one more requirement, which is the diplomat town has to get to... Where are we? Diplomats. Here we go. This has to get to 40 prosperity. So we got lots of money here. Stone. I'm thinking get some fish. Algae. We got fish. How can we raise prosperity? Oh, in these borders here, we could probably place some trees. That'll hopefully raise our prosperity. It's literally 2. We need 2 prosperity to do this. Yes, okay. We've gotten all of our error requirements completed, so... We did it! Northerndale Garden invited tribes from around the world to host the world's first farmers market. We can see the gods are happy. And we have unlocked a heap of new stuff. This is actually really good. I think this might be my best run yet. Staggeringly high final score. We got a 3-star rating. Yeehaw, baby. Let's have a look. Ooh, new trees, cherry trees. We've got deer. New animals. Ooh, obsidian. Very nice. Now, I am going to leave the planet, but I just wanted to see what we've got. Oh, wow, look at this. We can upgrade our plants. So this is going to be for the next map. So we can upgrade our plants by adding worms to increase their yield. We can have mushrooms. Very nice. Now, fortunately, we can't do that on this planet, but what I could do if I wanted to was drop a tsunami to destroy all the cities, but I kind of like this planet. I'm really happy with it. I'm actually pretty proud of how this turned out. Like, this is really good. It's a really solid setup for the planet. We've got a good ecosystem. We've got a bunch of different factions all coexisting. This is the first planet I've had where people haven't gone to war. So there's almost always some sort of plague or war or famine, some horrible thing that happens that just turns the planet into a hellscape for a few generations. But this is the first one I've gotten 100% right. So I'm really happy I managed to get that on stream. But we're going to leave the planet and check out what we got in the shop. Ooh, we've got, okay, so we've got some new spirits, the Huntress and the Pirate Queen. Ooh, new rewards. Very nice, very nice. And we've got a Frost Giant. Very nice. So now what we can do, if we want to reuse the planet seed, what I could do... Oop, okay, I wanted to pick different gods. Let's what I could do is go here and create a new planet. Let's go here, for example. Would like to not use the same gods, like... Oh, I guess we have to use that on new planets. That's okay. Now, I would love to do another world, but as you know, world can take... this actually went really smoothly. We actually managed to complete all of the requirements in an hour or more. This game can take quite a long time for another planet. Each run can be quite extensive, and I think that gave you a bit of a good idea of whether you want to pick this game up or not. The only thing I have to say, the feedback I'll give to the developers, is that the mechanics of the game can be quite difficult. Luckily, I spent a lot of time this week playing the game and learning it, but it can be quite confusing, some of the different mechanics to play the game. So I do recommend, if a developer is going to continue working on this, maybe to put a little bit more content in the tutorial of the game. There is a tutorial, but it really doesn't show you all of the different things that you can do, and a lot of what I found was through trial and error, which it doesn't worry me so much, but I'm feeling that people may not may look at this and just become overwhelmed, and that's what happened with me. I took one look and I'm like, I put it down and went, I'll come back to it, and I'm really glad I didn't just walk away from it, because it's actually a really fun game if you're willing to put in the time and learn the mechanics. But it can be very overwhelming, and there's a lot to learn, and a lot of different gameplay mechanics and dependencies that if you can't figure them out, or if you select the wrong path, the wrong upgrade, you can undo your mistakes, but it can be very hard to figure out how to do it. So I think my feedback for the developer is I like the direction in which you're going, but I think the game needs a little bit more, maybe some extra information in the form of a detailed encyclopedia breakdown, a help file, a more detailed tutorial. All of that would really help, but I'm really enjoying the game so far. This one I did not expect to. I mean, it's a city builder, but there's so many city builders out there that I was willing to write this off, and I'm so glad I didn't, because it's a lot of fun. If you're willing to put the work in and understand the mechanics. Now, I've got one more game tonight I want to show you guys, so we may come back and give this one another run, because the average time to complete a planet can be anything up to 3 or 4 hours. I was a bit worried about whether I'd be able to get through a planet in this stream, but we actually had just everything go right. There was no issues, no famine, no war. Everything just kind of slot into place, so it was the perfect run for a stream. And hopefully next time we'll do another run, and I can show you when things go south, because it can be pretty fun to actually try and prevent wars, or to maybe speed them up to do the least amount of damage to the planet as possible. So yeah, really cool black and white style vibes to this game. If you like God simulators, city builders, this is going to be right up your alley. But we've got one more game to check out tonight.